What is up? Welcome to my channel. My name is Franca and I'm glad you're here. Today we're going to be going over the Blake Lively lawsuit against Justin Baldoni. Before we begin, everything in this is alleged. Please don't sue me. Now that that's out of the way, I know absolutely freaking nothing about law. I'm just a nosy person who is invested in all this It Ends With Us drama. Now that that's out of the way, let's get into the lawsuit. So it's Blake Lively versus Wayfarer Studios, Justin Baldoni, Jamie Heath, Steve Sarowitz, I believe, Melissa Nathan, the agency group PR, Jennifer Abel, RWA Communications, Jed Wallace, and Street Relations. So let's get into it. A lot of people that actually know stuff about law were saying it's weird that there wasn't something up in this area. I don't know what's supposed to be there. I think she's officially filed. And I move you guys over. Okay. So this is the introduction. On January 4th, 2024, prior to resuming filming of It Ends With Us, the film, following guild strikes, an all-hands meeting was convened to address the hostile work environment that had nearly derailed production of the film. Attendees of the meeting included Justin Baldoni, who is the co-chairman and co-founder of Wayfarer Studios, as well as the director, executive producer, and actor in the lead role of Jamie Heath, the chief executive officer of Wayfarer and producer of the film, Angie Gennady, I think. I know butcher everybody's name in this. Just ignore it. I'm sorry. The film's representative for its distributor, Sony Pictures Entertainment, Alex Sachs, a producer on the film, Todd Black, a producer on the film, Blake Lively, who played the role of Lily Bloom in the film. Miss Lively also had the agreed upon right of representative present. She chose her husband, given that the meeting was about repeated sexual harassment and other disturbing behavior by Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Heath. As discussed and detailed below, Miss Lively was forced to address concerns about Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Heath's misconduct with them directly, and began doing so months before filming began. The concerns she raised were not only for herself, but for the other female cast and crew, some of whom had also spoken up. The January 4th meeting occurred only after Wayfarer had rebuffed Miss Lively's efforts repeatedly. But if she's claiming other women on the cast and crew had spoken up, they should be able to subpoena them in court and ask them did you speak up, did you say anything? So I feel like that claim in this, positive or negative towards Blake or Baldoni, based on what these people said. After the list below was reviewed and discussed in its entirety, all parties present agreed that the outlined conduct would cease. Okay, so she has 30 bullet points. And the first one reads, no more showing nude videos or images of women, including producer's wife, to Blake Lively and or her employees. Who is her employees on this set? That's what I want to know, because I would assume as an actor, you're an employee on the set. You know what I mean? Is she talking about her assistant? Did she decide to bring in a whole team of her own? What does she mean by employees? Because it's plural. Did she get to pick her own person for hair and makeup? I don't understand the film industry that well, but wouldn't they have already hired someone to do hair and makeup, all that stuff? Who are these people who are her employees? You know what I mean? Number 2 is no more mention of Mr. Baldoni or Mr. Heath's previous corn addiction or BL's lack of corn consumption to BL or other crew members. I feel that's weird. Why are you talking about that at work? But as I mentioned in the last video, someone mentioned if he was saying it in regards to his character and his character development, that there would be a little bit more context. Obviously, that's still weird, but I guess it depends in what way he was saying. No more discussions to BL and or her employees about personal experiences with SEX, including as it relates to spouse or others. That's weird. Why are you talking about? If my husband went to work and he was talking about this stuff to his coworkers, absolutely not. Divorced right that second. 4, no more mention to BL or her employees of personal times that physical consent was not given in SEX acts as either the abuser or the abused. The first part, 100%. Why are you talking about that? But the fact that they added or the abused is weird to me, because let's say Justin is getting I don't know if this happened, but if Justin is getting, like, talking about, like, a violent act that was committed towards him, you know what I mean? I mean, in the scope of, like, having this movie be about DV and he's opening up and sharing his experience, like, why is that bad? You know what I mean? Like, I get it if he's like, "I did this and that to this girl, blah, blah, blah." Like, that's weird. Why are you openly admitting that? And at work. Like, that's a little weird. But if he was like, "Hey, like, I had this experience happen to me, like, this is how it made me feel," like, why are you telling him that he can't talk about that? Like, that's weird to me. Especially based on what the movie's about. Like, you know what I mean? People are gonna wanna speak up about their stories. And this makes me think back to Blake's terrible interview where the guy was like, "Well, if people wanna share their experiences with you, like, what do you suggest they do?" Or whatever he said in the interview. And she was like, "Location share, like, you can ask for my number," like, not very much taking it seriously. So I find it weird that they, like, added that part in the, like, document, because you think, like, being a movie about domestic violence, and a lot of times, like, being abused is, like, part of that experience. You think if someone was openly coming out and telling you, like, their story, you'd be supportive in a way. This just said, like, being the abuser, like, that would make sense, but the fact that they added that last part is a little weird to me based on what the movie's about and the conversations that they're trying to start with this movie. That's just a little weird to me, so I'd be interested in learning more about that. 5. No more descriptions of their own genitalia to BL. That's weird. That's so weird. There's no reason that should be happening at work. Now, I don't know if these claims are true or not. 6. No more jokes or disparaging comments to be made to BL and or her employees about HR complaints Wayfair has already received on set or about missing the HR meeting. I think that's fair because, like, if I made a complaint and then everyone was joking about it afterward, I'd be so pissed. 7. No more inquiries by Mr. Baldoni to BL's trainer without her knowledge or consent to disclose her weight. This one I'm on the fence with because obviously it has come out that Justin Baldoni has, like, back problems with, like, a disc or something. And obviously, if you were doing something that requires you to exert a lot of energy, like, you would want to know. Maybe not asking about her weight would have been fine. He could have, the way he said it could have been bad. But to be honest, if some guy had to lift me and he went behind my back to ask my trainer, like, how much does she weigh? I'd be so offended. But then on the other hand, I also think of that interview with that journalist from Sweden or Switzerland or something like that. She congratulated Blake on her baby bump, and then Blake's comment back was, "Congratulations on your little bump." Is that not shaming regarding weight in the same way? Because the interviewer was not pregnant and Blake had just announced her pregnancy. I, like, think of that. Not that he should have been asking about this stuff anyway, because that's weird. But, like, you know what I mean? Like, the double standards where, like, if it's not happening, if I'm doing it to you, it's fine. But if you're doing it to me, it's not fine. Regardless, he shouldn't have asked about her weight. But that interview popping up kind of makes me think of her as, like, a little bit of a hypocrite because you are commenting on other people's weight and how you perceive them. But if someone does it to you, oh my god, hold your horses, that's totally unfair. Why are you doing this to me? Like, you shouldn't be allowed to do that to me. 8. No more mention by Mr. Baldoni of him speaking to BL's dead father. That's weird. No more pressing by Mr. Baldoni for BL to disclose her religious beliefs or unsolicited sharing of his. Number 9 is something that, like, I guess makes sense, but also doesn't make sense. I personally am not a religious person. I could care less, to be honest. But if someone's telling me about their religion, I'm not gonna go, "Absolutely, can you shut up?" And I feel like some people in their religions, I feel like because I don't associate with a religion, a lot of people are like, "Oh my god, like, let me try and get you into my religion." Absolutely not. But also, on the other hand, I have no problem telling people I think religion is a cult. That is my personal opinion. And if someone told me I wasn't allowed to say that, I feel like I'd be a little offended. But you know what I mean? Like, I have no problem with people telling me about their religion. As long as they're not trying to, like, force me into the religion, I'll listen to them. I'll hear them out. I'll listen what they have to say. But also in the same breath, like, I have no problem telling people how I feel about religions. and how I associate religiously. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's like a weird space of like, can you say that? Like, can you tell someone not to speak about their religion? Can you tell someone they're not allowed to associate with their religion? Also, I forget what religion he is, but I also feel like, isn't that against the law? I wonder if that's gonna come up in the lawsuit because, like, I don't think you can tell someone they're not allowed to talk about their faith. And on the other hand, it does make me feel like, I'm not saying this is like 100% true, but because I think he's like, I forget what his religion is. Let me search it up. Justin Baldoni's religion. A high faith? I feel like that's not like a common one. That's like not a common one I hear. So I also wonder if it's because it's not the unanimous Christianity that is very prevalent in the United States. If she's like, I don't want to hear about this anymore, kind of thing. I don't know if that's how she responded, but because it's not something you hear about like often, and it's so there's 8 million. This is just pure speculation. I have no idea. But because it is a smaller religion and not talked about as much, and probably they have very different customs and religious beliefs from Christianity, whereas Christianity itself, 2.4 billion people apparently follow this. You know what I mean? Like it's more custom. I wonder if Blake Lively is a Christian. Lively's religion. Blake Lively is Christian. I feel like that explains a lot. Not that there's anything like wrong with her being Christian, but like, you know what I mean? Like when you are like the majority, you know what I mean? She was raised in a Southern Baptist household. I have no freaking idea what that means. I have no idea. But she is Christian according to this site. I have no idea how reliable this site is. That does make me feel like potentially she was just annoyed by him talking about his faith just because it's not a common one in the United States. 10. If BL and or her infant is exposed to COVID again, BL must be provided with immediate notice as soon as Wayfarer or any other production become aware of such exposure, without her needing to uncover days later herself. That completely valid. What do you mean me and my baby were exposed? But also, you know what I think's weird? Are you allowed to have a baby on set? Well, I assume you are. They also get paid millions. I feel like they can do whatever they want. And like I feel like that's a little dystopian for me because like I could just imagine like working my minimum wage job with just like a baby. Sorry, gotta breastfeed. 11. An intimacy coordinator must be present at all times when BL is on set in scenes with Mr. Baldoni. Which I guess fair. Obviously, if you're doing like sex scenes. 12. No more personal physical touching of comments by Mr. Baldoni or Mr. Heath to be tolerated by BL or any of her employees, as well as any female cast or crew without their express consent. See, she keeps putting her employees. Who are her employees on the set? Like, that's what I want to know. What do you mean your employees? 13. No improvising of kissing. All intimate touch must be choreographed in advance with BL and an intimacy coordinator. No biting or sucking of lip without BL's consent. And all intimate on-camera touch and conversations must be in character and not spoken from Mr. Baldoni to BL personally. That is very fair. But you know what I think's funny? Knowing what I know now, I did hear things. I haven't read Justin Baldoni's lawsuit, but from the like snippets I heard, this says in advance with BL and an intimacy coordinator. So BL and the intimacy coordinator would go over these scenes. From the receipts Justin has later, it is clear that she didn't want to meet the intimacy coordinator that one specific time. I wonder if it was after this letter or before at the beginning of the filming because it doesn't really make sense. But yeah, that's fair. Why are you doing that? But also, it says must be in character. But like, how do you tell if it's in character or it's not in character? Like, if the camera's rolling, are you not supposed to be in character? You know what I mean? So I wonder how that will play out, like separating their characters on the screen or them as real people, you know what I mean? 14. BL has a representative on set at all times with a monitor during scenes involving nudity, activity, or violence with Mr. Baldoni. That's fair. All actors participating with BL in intimate scenes involving her being in any state of nudity or simulated nudity must be classified as active working actors, not friends of the director or producers, and must be pre-approved by BL. See, that seems fair to me in a sense, but I heard some people on like TikTok um saying that for a lot of these like small roles, people will find like local actors or like hire friends on so that their friend makes money too, which I guess makes sense because like if I was doing a big film, I would 100% get my friend in on the films, you know what I mean? But also like that is a little weird. 16. No more filming of any BL nudity without a fully executed SGA complacent nudity rider in place. Any such footage already shot without this rider in place and in direct violation of SGA requirements may not be used without BL and her legal representative's prior written consent. That makes me think some of the scenes that were in the film when she did her cut were these kind of scenes are the ones that she took out and they really wanted them in the movie, but she might not have, and that's why she decided to make her own cut because she didn't want these scenes anywhere in there. 17. Any scene by BL or any other performer depicting the character of Lily that involves nudity or stimulated sex must be conducted strictly in accordance with the above referenced nudity rider and must adhere to the BL approved script. So here I think she is talking for her and the actor that plays young Lily, but it does say adhere to the BL approved script. So I think, does that mean she was approving scripts for other actors as well? Which is a little strange to me. I wonder if there was a reason behind that. I know there was mention of like a scene done with younger Lily that she was that she was horrified by. So I wonder if it has to do with that. 18. An intimacy coordinator must be on set for all scenes involving nudity and/or sex and must have a monitor to ensure compliance. Fair. 19. No monitors to be viewed or accessible on set or remotely during closed set scenes except by BL approved essential crew and personnel. Fair. 20. No more entering, attempting to enter, interrupting, pressuring, or asking BL to enter her trailer or the makeup trailer by Mr. Heath or Mr. Baldoni while she is nude for any reason. Fair. 21. No more private multi-hour meetings in BL's trailer with Mr. Baldoni crying with no outside BL appointed representative to monitor. That's fair. 22. No more pressuring by Mr. Baldoni to sage any of BL's employees. What does that mean? 23. Producer Alex Sachs to be given standard rights, inclusions, and authority per her job description as a representative to BL when signing on. So I guess that's why he's not in the lawsuit, because I guess he was added in later. 24. Sony must have an active daily role in overseeing physical production for the remainder of the film to monitor safety for cast and crew, schedule logistics, problem solving, and creative. 25. Engagement of experienced producer to supervise the safety of the cast and crew, schedule, logistics. It's the same thing. Okay, whatever. 26. Engagement of a BL approved A-list stunt double to perform Lily in scenes with Mr. Baldoni involving RAPE and/or violence. BL to perform only close-up work or work from a BL approved shot list in the scene with Mr. Baldoni involving sex violence. 27. No more adding of sex scenes and sex or on-camera climaxing by BL outside of the scope of the script BL approved when signing on to the project. That's fair. 28. No more asking or pressuring BL to cross physical picket lines. That's fair. I think that's in regards to like the guild strike. 29. No more retaliatory or abusive behavior to BL for raising concerns or requesting safeguards. Fair. 30. An in-person meeting before production resumes with Mr. Baldoni, Mr. Heath, Miss Sack, the Sony representative, the new producer, BL, and BL's spouse, Ryan Reynolds, to confirm and approve a plan for implementation of all the above that will be adhered to for the physical and emotional safety of BL, her employees, and all the cast and crew moving forward. That was a lot. Most of the things in that complaint are fair. If they were happening on set, they should not have been happening. But what we don't know as viewers and fans is we don't know what happened. It's all like a he said, she said right now.